If you want to understand why your body keeps sending you signals you cannot explain, do not look only at your diet chart and do not assume it is simply the work of aging. Look at the liver sitting quietly beneath your right rib cage, an organ that can be drowning in fat for years before anyone gives it a name. My people, if even one of the 10 warning signs I'm about to share is living in your body right now, what I am sharing today may be among the most important things you hear all year. Welcome. The liver is the great silent worker of the body. It filters your blood, balances your hormones, and clears away everything that does not belong inside you. When fat begins to accumulate inside its cells, the liver does not scream. It whispers. It sends you signals that are easy to dismiss as tiredness, as getting older, as nothing worth worrying about. By the time a doctor catches the damage, those whispers have often been speaking for years. This information will not arrive in a prescription bottle. It has not been assigned to a rushed 10-minute appointment, but it has been living in the gardens and the healing traditions of people who watched bodies and listened carefully for generations. What I am sharing today could protect the years ahead for you and for someone sitting under your roof right now. My name is Mother Mary Beckford. For over 55 years, I have served my community here in the Blue Mountains of Jamaica as a keeper of the old island remedies. Knowledge passed through bush medicine from my grandmother, a beloved midwife and healer in the hills above Port Antonio, and from her mother before her. I carry this work, having watched it hold lives together in the yard and the village season after season. When my neighbors ask why I still do this, my answer is always the same. The Creator placed everything we need into the earth, and someone must remember where it grows. What I have carried from that lineage is this: the liver and the belly are kin. When the interior world of the belly, the living community of bacteria and the fermented balance that lives there, when that world is broken, the liver receives a burden it was never meant to carry alone. Modern researchers are only now beginning to confirm what the hill healers of this island observed long before laboratories existed. The gut shapes inflammation. The gut governs immunity. The gut determines how well your liver can clean itself each day. Hold this in your mind as we walk through these signs together. Across the 4 generations I have watched in these hills, we rarely saw the bloated belly, the yellowed skin, the failing energy that fills my inbox every week now. What was different? The old ways fed the belly roots and fermented drinks and bitter greens that kept the liver supported. The liver then had a clean environment to do its ancient work. That living knowledge is what I am walking you through today. In this video, we are going through 10 warning signs your fatty liver sends before the damage becomes irreversible. Sign number 7 is what I call the final warning, the point at which the liver tells you it has been carrying this weight too long and the window for turning things around is narrowing. And the sign I have saved for last, number 1, is the one that surprises nearly everyone I speak with. Most folks never connect it to the liver at all. These signs build on each other, my child, so stay with me all the way through, because the sign at the end of this list changes the conversation entirely. Before we begin, I want you to do one thing. Leave a comment right now. Tell me your age and tell me how many of these signs you recognize in your own body or in someone you love. I read every single comment on this channel, and your answers shape the very next video I make for this community. You matter here. In this video, I am going to show you the sign that lives in your morning energy before your day has even begun. The pressure beneath the right side that the old healers watch so closely. The belly swelling that no change in diet can explain. The color change in the bathroom that tells you something deep inside has shifted. The skin signal that begins years before a blood test will catch it. The swelling that starts at the ankle and carries a message most people never hear. And the master sign, the one that, once it arrives, tells you the time for watching has passed. A quick favor before we go further, my people. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, take just 2 seconds and press that button now. Over 100,000 seniors find their way to these old ways teachings each week, and many tell me they had been watching for months without realizing they had never subscribed. It costs you nothing and helps this knowledge reach more folks who are carrying these questions alone. Number 10, a tiredness that sleep cannot repair. Most folks wave this away as getting older and leave it there. But when fat crowds into liver cells, what healers have long called a congested liver, the organ cannot filter blood with the efficiency it was built for. Think of a well pump whose intake pipe is slowly filling with sediment. The water still moves, but it runs harder and murkier than it should. After 60, liver cell regeneration slows by nearly 30%, so unfiltered waste rides through the blood all day and the tiredness settles deeper than ordinary muscle fatigue. In the old ways, soursop leaf tea each morning before food, 2 cups steep gently for 8 minutes paired with 10 minutes of early morning sunlight before eating to encourage bile into motion. If that heavy, persistent tiredness feels familiar, number 9 lives in a different part of the body entirely. Number 9, a dull pressure or aching beneath the right side of the ribs, easy to blame on a pulled muscle or a bad sleeping position. But the old healers watch this sign closely. When the liver swells with fat, the capsule surrounding it stretches and the body speaks through that pressure. The medical name for this is hepatomegaly-related tenderness. Think of a water-soaked sponge pressed too firmly inside a glass jar. After 70, the liver's capacity to reduce its own inflammation drops significantly, making this pressure settle deeper and linger far longer than any ordinary muscle ache. Dorothy, 68, a retired school teacher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, had carried this right side ache for nearly 2 years. What was overlooked was an elevated liver enzyme pattern in her blood work pointing directly to fat accumulation. She began dandelion root tea, 3 cups daily, and added bitter melon to her morning routine. By month 3, her discomfort had reduced by roughly 60%. She told me, "Mother Mary, my right side finally belongs to me again. Dandelion root, 3 cups daily, 12 minutes steep, avoided after 7 in the evening. Half a bitter melon juiced in water each morning before food." Number 8 carries a sign most folks blame on the kitchen table. Number 8, belly swelling and weight gathering around the middle that no change in eating seems to touch. When a fatty liver cannot regulate fat metabolism properly, the abdomen begins to hold fluid and accumulation beyond what was eaten. Think of the liver as the body's traffic director for fats. When the director is overwhelmed, the fats pile up at the intersection and stay there. After 65, the hormones governing fat distribution shift significantly, and a burdened liver cannot compensate as it once did. Bitter leaf tea, what we call Vernonia on this island, 2 cups before meals daily, paired with a gentle 10-minute walk after the evening meal to reduce the fat load reaching the liver through digestion. Number 7 is where I ask you to stop and listen carefully. Number 7, dark amber urine and pale or clay-colored stools. This is the final warning. When bile stops moving properly through the body, what doctors call cholestasis, the liver is telling you its passages are being compressed by fat accumulation. Bile gives stool its brown color and helps the kidneys process waste cleanly. Think of a river whose source has been partially blocked. The downstream runs thin and strange. After 75, bile production can fall by up to 40% compared to younger years, which is why this sign appears more dramatically in older bodies. In these mountains and in communities across the Caribbean, my grandmother marked this sign as the liver sending its loudest signal before the final stage of crisis. This is what the island healers watched for generations before any laboratory came to give it a name. Harold, 72, a retired postal worker from Savannah, Georgia, had been seeing these changes for 6 months. What was overlooked was the liver connection. No one had named it for him. Sarasi tea each morning and turmeric in warm water before bed. Within 10 weeks, his urine color had returned to normal. He told me, "You called it what no one else had the patience to see. Sarasi tea each morning, turmeric in warm water before bed. And if you see these color changes, please speak to your doctor right away. Do not carry this sign alone." Now, before we continue, I want to share something that connects every sign we have discussed. After 60, the body loses nearly half of its beneficial gut bacteria. Probiotics alone cannot restore the balance, not without prebiotic fiber to feed them and postbiotics, the healing compounds those bacteria produce once they are working properly. Think of it as planting in a garden. The seeds need soil prepared to receive them, and the harvest only comes when seeds, soil, and right tending are all working together. We will return to this in just a moment. Number 6, skin that itches from deep within with no rash on the surface to explain it. When bile builds in the bloodstream because the liver cannot process it properly, it deposits beneath the skin and creates an itch that no cream will reach. Think of mineral deposits forming silently inside a pipe, invisible from the outside, changing everything that flows through. After 65, the skin's own waste-clearing ability slows, making this bile accumulation more persistent and more maddening than ordinary dryness. Neem leaf tea with a tablespoon of pure aloe vera stirred in, 1 cup before bed, combined with removing all fried and processed oils from the diet for at least 3 weeks. And now, my people, I want to pause here for a moment because the question I receive most often from folks on this channel is one I can finally answer. The question I hear more than any other is, Mother Mary, is there something I can take each day that carries the prebiotic, the probiotic, and the postbiotic all in one place? After careful searching, I found something I feel right about recommending. It is called BoochBod. It is a kombucha gummy, not a pill, which matters because many seniors find capsules difficult on the stomach. It carries 2 clinically studied strains, lactospore and postbiotics, LM1004, along with prebiotic fiber, dandelion root, and slippery elm, 2 roots at the heart of the old Jamaican bush medicine tradition. Over 30,000 people are already using it, and you will find the link in the description below. Please speak to your doctor before starting any supplement, especially if you are managing any liver-related concerns. Now back to our signs. Number 5, spider veins appearing on the chest or face and a redness spreading across the palms. When the liver cannot clear estrogen from the bloodstream properly, blood vessels near the surface dilate and spread. The medical term for the veins is spider angiomata, and the palm redness is called palmar erythema. Think of a garden hose running under too much pressure. The seams begin to show. After 60, estrogen metabolism slows naturally, and when the liver cannot assist in clearing it, these visible signs appear faster and spread more widely. Gloria, 75, a retired florist from Boise, Idaho, had watched red veins spread across her upper chest for over a year and noticed her palms flushing an unusual red. What was overlooked was her liver's reduced estrogen clearance capacity, milk thistle tea twice daily, and full removal of alcohol. By week 6, her palm redness had reduced by over half. She told me, Mother Mary, I thought age was simply claiming its territory. I did not know my liver was trying to speak. Milk thistle tea, 2 cups daily, 15 minutes steep, 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar in warm water each morning before food. Number 4, shows up lower on the body and grows quietly. Number 4, swelling in the ankles, legs, or feet that leaves a small indentation when gently pressed. This happens when the liver can no longer produce enough albumin, the protein that keeps fluid inside the blood vessels where it belongs. When albumin falls, fluid escapes into surrounding tissue and gravity pulls it down. Think of a balloon with a slow, persistent leak. After 70, albumin production can drop by up to 25% in a liver burdened by fat. Parsley root tea, a generous handful of fresh parsley steeped in 2 cups of hot water for 12 minutes, 2 cups daily. Elevate the legs above heart level for 20 minutes each morning and evening. And if this swelling arrives suddenly or affects only one side, speak to your doctor before relying on any home practice. Number 3, speaks from the surface of the skin. Number 3, bruising that appears from the lightest contact and takes far longer than it should to fade. When fat overwhelms the liver, it loses the capacity to produce clotting factors, the proteins that instruct blood to stop flowing when the skin is broken. After 65, clotting factor production can fall by 30 to 40% in a liver carrying significant fat accumulation, which is why older adults with fatty liver discover bruises from contact they barely remember. Raymond, 70, a retired mechanic from Chattanooga, Tennessee, had been finding bruises on his forearms and shins for months months from nothing more than leaning against a countertop. What was overlooked was the liver connection entirely. Turmeric in warm milk each evening with a pinch of black pepper, alongside an increase in dark leafy greens. By week 8, new bruises healed in roughly 40% less time. He told me, I had no idea any of this had to do with the liver. Turmeric in warm milk each evening, always with a pinch of black pepper to activate the curcumin. Dark greens, parsley, kale, collard greens taken daily. Number 2 asks you to look closely at something most folks miss entirely. Number 2, yellowing in the whites of the eyes and sometimes across the skin. When fat in the liver blocks the normal processing of bilirubin, the pigment released when old red blood cells break down, it builds up in the bloodstream and deposits into the tissues. Think of a recycling facility that has run entirely out of space. The waste backs up into every corridor. After 75, bilirubin clearance slows by up to 35% in a compromised liver. Yellow dock and burdock root together, 1 tablespoon of each, steeped in 3 cups of hot water for 15 minutes, 2 cups taken daily. And my people, when yellowing appears in the whites of the eyes, do not wait. See your doctor. This sign belongs in a medical conversation. Number 1 is the sign I have been building toward from the very beginning, and it will change how you understand everything we have discussed today. Number 1, mental fog that clouds your thinking, a sleep schedule that has turned completely upside down, and personality changes that feel unfamiliar even to yourself. This is the sign that tells you the liver has stopped filtering ammonia from the bloodstream as it should. Ammonia is a natural waste product of protein metabolism. In a healthy liver, it is converted into urea within minutes and cleared through the kidneys. When fat has overwhelmed the liver's function, this conversion slows or fails, and ammonia builds in the blood. The medical name for the resulting condition is hepatic encephalopathy, and it is among the most serious consequences of advanced fatty liver disease. Here is the mechanism. The liver's detoxification pathway, called the urea cycle, slows to a fraction of its normal capacity. Ammonia that should be cleared quickly accumulates in the blood instead. It crosses into the brain and acts there like a slow sedative, dimming clarity, disrupting the body's ability to regulate sleep, and in some people, shifting emotional tone and personality in ways that confuse and frighten the families watching. Think of a water treatment facility whose filters have grown so clogged that the water passing through carries particles it was never meant to deliver. After 80, the barrier between the blood and the brain becomes measurably more permeable, meaning that elevated ammonia causes confusion and sleep disruption at lower concentrations than it would in a younger body. Research in recent years, confirming what generations of healers observed long before any laboratory named the mechanism, has found meaningful connections between undetected fatty liver disease and cognitive changes in older adults that appear years before a formal diagnosis is ever made. The old ones on this island called it the liver talking to the head, and they had been watching it long before any research team arrived to measure it. Ruth, 77 years old, a retired librarian from Portland, Maine, had been struggling with reverse sleep for over a year, waking through the night and spending her mornings in a fog she could not shake. Her family was quietly beginning to worry about her memory. What was overlooked was that her liver function markers sat at the very upper edge of normal and were never flagged as a concern. She began fresh lemon juice in warm water each morning on an empty stomach, milk thistle tea twice daily steeped for 15 minutes, and removed all processed meats from her diet entirely. By month 2, her sleep had begun to stabilize. By month 4, her family told her she had come back to herself. She told me, Mother Mary, I thought I was losing my mind, and you helped me understand that my liver had been trying to find it for me. The fog in the mind, the reverse sleep, the emotional shifts, this is the liver asking for help in the only voice it has left. Fresh lemon juice in warm water each morning, milk thistle tea twice daily. Remove processed meats, refined sugars, and all alcohol. And if you recognize this sign in yourself or in someone you love, please see your doctor now. Today, not next week. After 55 years of watching what truly supports the liver in older bodies, here are 4 principles most folks never hear. Tip number 1. Timing matters as much as what you take. The liver performs its deepest cleansing between 1 and 3 in the morning. Anything eaten or drunk after 9 in the evening adds to that night's burden, however wholesome it may be. Tip number 2. Consistency at 50% beats perfection at 0. A cup of dandelion tea every morning for a month supports this organ far more than a week of aggressive cleansing followed by 2 weeks of nothing. The liver responds to daily rhythms, not to heroic effort followed by surrender. Tip number 3. Eat something bitter before each meal. Dandelion greens, bitter melon, arugula. Bitterness signals the liver to prepare bile before the fats and sugars arrive, and it lightens the post-meal processing load meaningfully over time. Tip number 4. Avoid cold water during meals. Cold water constricts the bile ducts and slows the digestive process. Drink warm water or nothing at all during the meal itself. Mistake number 1, reaching for a dramatic cleanse instead of building a daily practice. The liver does not heal through shock. A sudden aggressive detox creates more inflammation than it resolves. What the body needs after years of accumulation is slow, consistent support over weeks and months, not a week of punishment followed by a return to the same habits. Mistake number 2, tending the liver while ignoring the belly. When the gut microbiome is depleted, the liver receives waste in a form that is harder to process and clear. Tending the liver while ignoring the belly is like clearing a clogged drain while the pipe feeding into it is still broken. Mistake number 3, overusing olive oil because it carries a good reputation. Olive oil is beneficial in careful, small amounts, but any fat, including a healthy one, adds to the liver's processing burden during active healing. 1 tablespoon per day when the liver is under stress. My people, I want you to hear me clearly before we close. The signs we walked through today, the fatigue, the pressure, the color changes, the swelling, the bruising, the fog, these are not simply the price of growing older. They are the language of a body that still wants to heal. The liver is a remarkable organ. Given the right conditions, it can restore itself even at 70, even at 75, even at 80. It is never too late to change the direction you are walking. What you are truly protecting here is the morning when you wake up clear and the world feels like it belongs to you. It is the afternoon walk with your grandchildren. It is the Sunday phone call your family is waiting for. It is the independence that lets you choose your own days. You are the one who decides what comes into this body and what goes into practice. That decision has always belonged to you. Let me lock this in for you before we close. Number 10. Fatigue that sleep cannot fix. Soursop leaf tea and morning sunlight before eating. Number 9. Pressure beneath the right ribs. Dandelion root tea and bitter melon each morning. Number 8. Belly swelling that diet does not explain. Bitter leaf tea before meals and a walk after dinner. Number 7. Dark urine and pale or clay-colored stools. The final warning. Cerasee tea and turmeric water nightly. Number 6. Deep itching with no rash. Neem and aloe tea before bed. Remove processed oils. Number 5. Spider veins and red palms. Milk thistle tea and apple cider vinegar each morning. Number 4, swollen ankles and legs, parsley root tea, and daily leg elevation. Number 3, easy bruising from light contact, turmeric milk with black pepper nightly, dark greens daily. Number 2, yellowing in the whites of the eyes. Yellow dock and burdock root tea. See your doctor. Number 1, mental fog, reverse sleep, personality changes. Lemon water each morning, milk thistle twice daily, remove processed meats and refined sugar. See your doctor now. If this video helped you understand your body better today, I want to ask 3 small things of you. Press subscribe if you have not already. The knowledge I share here comes out every week and it is made for exactly the people watching this right now. Share this video with your spouse, your older sibling, or the oldest friend you have been keeping in your heart. They may be carrying one of these signs right now and not know what to call it. And leave me a comment. Tell me which warning sign surprised you most or which one you recognize in yourself. I read every single comment on this channel and your words keep this work alive. If you would like to look into the BoochBod Kombucha Gummies I mentioned earlier, the link is waiting for you in the description below whenever you are ready. Blessings on you and on everyone you love. I will see you in the next one.